Hello and welcome back to Lost Forge Tabletop Gaming. Big week for Keyforge. Worlds Collide came out, and I just got back from my pre-release. I went 0-4. So, not much to talk about on this one. It was my first pre-release. Overall it was fun. We had 10 people. That's the largest we've had at the event that I've been going to. So that's definitely a plus. But yeah, my deck was not very good, and we'll be kind of getting into that one really quickly here. But, as you notice as well, I have a whole box of Keyforge decks. I'm splitting this with my brother, so I don't know how many will open on camera, but I do have one. I have pre-cut open the thing, so I have not looked inside of it. It's just really hard to get these stickers off. So we're going to be going over the deck I played today, as well as a random deck from the new set, and talking about some of the stuff that happened. Disclaimer. There is a distribution issue right now with Worlds Collide where every deck is going to have Dis. Don't know why. Everybody at my pre-release had it. There have been other videos going around that have Dis. It's kind of a shame considering everybody's trying to go for a new house. So yeah, we're gonna talk about that and more going into the gameplay section. All right, got kind of a different angle on here. I'm actually gonna try to sit down because with the camera, it's like right there. It's pretty hard to do that. But anyways, the deck is actually Helpful Terran, who went 0-4, so he's not very helpful. He is Dis, of course, Logos, and Untamed. So what did I like about this deck and what didn't I like? We'll go through each one of the different houses here and talk about cards that were helpful, weren't very helpful, and so on and so forth. I should have sorted this beforehand, but I didn't think of it. So to start off with, we're going to be talking about my Untamed. First off is my rare, which is Xenos Bloodshadow. Elusive, Hazardous 6, Poison, and Skirmish for 4. You may be thinking, wow, golly gee, mister, that is a powerful card. What can I ever do to combat against something of such brilliance and cunning? Well, whenever he gets distributed in a deck, I think he comes with Toad. Toad just says, can't read, for one. I don't know what the rules and restrictions are on Xenos and Toad, but this is a pair that go together like frogs and witches. This card itself, while powerful, is a heavy target to crowd control. I played him mainly as a card to bait out board control, so other cards in my hand and field could be played without any kind of retribution or consequence. So that is the main reason I played him. Going into some of the MVPs of this, first one is Mustic Marmook. Getting better about getting the camera to actually focus. Each player keys cost +1 more, deal 4 damage to a creature when played. Very good card, very, very good. No downsides to it, a lot of damage, and it has a key effect that is very handy. Some returning cards, we've got Key Charge, and we've got Graphic Vines. We also have Unsuspecting Prey. It was an okay card. Worked well with some of the cards in Dis. I had 2 Regrowth, as well as 2 of a new card, Deepwood Druid, which deploy and heal a friendly creature that is neighboring it for a play and reap effect. Not bad. Definitely kept some things on the board. We had Mulpin, which this card was very interesting. Didn't have it really activate at all on this game, but if, I was playing against a lot more Shadow, it would have come into play more. And then finally, probably my favorite card in Untamed being King of Fent. Each creature gains Reap, destroy this creature, which really put a target on my back, but it allowed me to do some really cool things like clearing the board or preventing my opponent from playing any keys or reaping effects until that card was removed. Going to Dis. One of my favorite art, one of the best art, I think, in this set is the Harbinger of Doom. Destroy each creature when destroyed for 2 butt and 3 armor. Fantastic card. Then we have, Exhume, just a fantastic card overall. I had 2 Library of the Damned. Archive a card. I just couldn't find a good use for this card. I don't know what I should have been archiving. It just felt like too slow of a card to be playing in this current disc. Soul Fill. This is a new card with a new mechanic. Enraged creature. I always discarded it or let it get discarded. Never used it for its intended purposes. I did not find it to be a very useful card in this deck. We have Poltergeist. Use an artifact controlled by any player. If it were yours, destroy that artifact. Not a bad card. Again, didn't have too much use for it. A new card, Imposter. Purge a random card from your opponent's hand. I believe this is a new card. Yeah, very good. Anything that lets me purge is fantastic. Speaking of which, Bornit's Touch. Reveal the top 5 cards of your player's deck. Purge a card revealed this way. Shuffle the other cards into your deck. Disruptive. You get to shuffle your opponent's deck. You get to purge a card. You get to look at the top 5 cards of their deck. You gain an amber. It's just a fantastic uncommon. I really, really like this card. The Evil Eye. Fantastic. He's cost 3 during your opponent's turn, and you get an amber. Misery Exploit. This is another one I really like. Gained 1 amber for each damaged enemy creature. Paired very well with the card that dealt 2 to 3 creatures from Untamed. I had 2 of those. And then Sinestra. This card baffles me. So this card, as you can see by the rarity here, the focus. It's a variant, I believe. Your opponent plays creatures on their left flank. They lose 1. I believe that it might also have on the right side, might be the kind of like gimmick to it, but very odd. This became huge because positioning, a lot of people don't think twice about where they're putting cards, but then when, like, if playing a card on one side is very important or getting rid of this card, it did a lot of work for me. All right, and finally Logos. Twin Bolt. Deal 2 damage to 2 different creatures. I got 3 of those. That's where the 3 was coming from. Sanitation Engineer. A hazardous 1, discard a card from your hand. Not bad. Titan Guardian. This is probably another. I think this is my MVP for the Logos side because it's just such a very good card. Because it doesn't check which turn it is, so you can sacrifice it. I actually reaped with it while Kingafint was on play, so I could draw 2 more cards while playing Logos. It was very helpful. We have Babbling Bibliophile. A good card. My Logos is very slow, a lot of reap effects, but you'll see why it's good in here in a second. Then we have Daughter, which is a smaller mother, which is still really good. If you play this first turn, you have a great card advantage. Actually saved me. I got a bunch of chains for my opponent. There's a card that gives your opponent 3 chains, and this actually kept me running during those turns. Interdimensional Gaft. If your opponent keyforges a key, I get the remainder of their amber. It was okay. Very situational card. Igor. Yeah, we've seen Igor before. Reassembling Automaton. This one is fantastic. If you have any other creatures in play, instead of destroying it, reassembling Automaton, fully heal it, exhaust it, and move it to a flank. So I was able to keep this card out and dealing damage or reaping with it or using its ability, and it stayed in play for a very long time. Someone actually targeted this card for a destruction spell, and I actually was like, are you sure you want to do that? It's just going to go back, which is really good. Jargoyle, he's okay. And then finally, the rare is Replicator. Look at those cute little conjoined boys. Look at them. They're so cute. Trigger the reap effect of another creature in play as if you control that creature. Do not exhaust that creature. So, very good. If I'm going to give this deck a rating, it would be probably a 4 out of 10. Very slow. The 3 houses do not synergize well with each other, These two want to build the board and do totally different things. They really want them to be very wide. This wants to control and destroy things. A lot of just dead cards in these two factions. Even in this one had a lot of situational stuff. It just didn't synergize very well. It's very slow. It was fun to play, but I do not think this deck will see much play in my opinion. Next, we are going to be looking at a Worlds Collide booster pack. Like I said, I cut the thing on it so I could open it without ease on camera, and so pull the tab out. And we are going to check out, of course, just as always, Lord Tenon, the Noble Spelunker. Ooh, fun, fun, fun. It is Untamed, Dis, and Logos. It's the same pairing as before. Should have also opened up the plastic seal. Ha ha ha. Oh my god, come on. I had to bite into it. Alright. So there's the card there. We're going to put that up in an area, but not going to show the code because I'm greedy like that. Giant Nabil. After a player chooses an active house, that player destroys an artifact of that house. Pretty good. It's very controlling for 5. That's a great untamed creature to have. Creed of Nature. Sacrifice Creed of Nature. If you do, reveal a creature from your hand. Choose a creature in play. For the member of the turn, chosen creature gains that text box of the related or revealed creature. That's a good way to reuse abilities and get some good like out of house abilities. We got Papaka Enga, got Mimicry, Mab the Mad. Shuffle Mab the Mad into your deck. Reap. That's not too bad. This card is a fantastic card. Unnatural Selection. Choose 3 friendly creatures and 3 enemy creatures. Destroy each other creature. If your opponent has gone very, very wide, you can really kind of shallow his board state. And it's also an amber too, so that's a lot of good. Oh, there's 2 of them. Ooh, that's very helpful. Song of the Wild. For the remainder of the turn, each friendly creature gains Reap, gain 1. That's not bad. There is another Mustek Marmuk, very good. A Key Charge, that's always helpful. And then Imprinted Marmuk. Elusive, and your keys cost -1. That's interesting. That's really good, especially with Key Charge. Deepwood Druid, and we're into Logos. Mini Group Think Tank. Okay. Play Fight Reap, deal 8 damage to a creature if it shares a house with 2 of its neighbors. That's very good in the beginning games if the opponent plays a lot. I really like that card. Anomaly Exploiter, destroy a damaged creature. Not bad. Wild Wormhole, always a fantastic card. 2 of them. Thorium Plasmate. Play move an enemy creature anywhere in its controller's battle line. Deal 2 damage to a creature for each of its neighbors that shares a house with it. That's very good in par with the Think Tank. I think that is a very good combo you can have there with those 2 cards. Oh, there's 2 of them. There's 3 of them. Okay, that's deadly if you have multiples of those. Hazardous 1. Discard a card from your hand. That's not bad. Then you have Quant. You may play 1 non-Logos action on this turn. And then Eddie 4x4. Archive a card. Your opponent's keys cost +1 for each card in your archives. That's pretty good, but I haven't seen too many. I think that might be the only card that might archive from this faction. And then redraw the cards. That's not bad. And then finally we have Dis. Destroy each creature with odd power. That's fascinating. For 4 and a play effect. That's really good. And then we got Lesser Oxtect. Purge each card from in your hand, and then keys cost +3 during your opponent's turn. That's a creature version of that artifact that this has. Then you have Soul Keeper. This creature gains destroyed creature, destroy the most powerful enemy creature. That's very good if you're trading cards. And then you have Bloodshard Imp. After a creature reaps, its controller must sacrifice it. That is also, it's very like a kangaroo effect, but it is just on that card. Your opponent loses 1 amber, and then Archive Rubgot. That's pretty good. That's another archive effect. The card itself is okay. You really kind of have to focus on Dis for it to really be good. Not finished with you. Shuffle any number of creature cards from your discard pile into your deck. Fantastic ability, especially with Untamed. Lilithal, Fight Reap, capture 1 for 5. That's not bad. Festering Touch. Choose up to 2 creatures. Deal 1 damage to each chosen creature. If that creature was already damaged, deal 3 instead. Very good. Draining Touch. Destroy a creature with no amber on it. That's just solid. Ooh, that is very solid. Oh my god. And then Binding Irons. Your opponents gain 3 chains. Now, just a quick glance and breakdown of Lord Tennant, the Noble Spelunker. I think this deck is vastly superior to actually Helpful Terran. The deck synergizes a bit more. It has more board control. There is key cheats. There's key aggression against your opponents. There isn't much amber destruction, but if you can keep their board empty, it's very hard for them to build amber. Having 3 Draining Touches and 3 Thorium Plasmates is very good. 2 Wild Wormholes is fantastic. Mimic and Creative Nature both are just fantastic cards. I think that this deck would be a 7 out of 10. I might have to play this deck next week just for fun. Sadly, though, we do not have anything from the new houses, which is a very, very shameful thing. So I'm going to be going and opening up my decks. I'm not going to be scanning them. I'm just going to look through, or I'm probably going to scan them and look for certain cards. And then throughout the weeks, I will be featuring more and more decks as we go along. But that's pretty much it for this episode. I'm not really going to come back on camera, so thank you very much for watching. Please let me know how your weekend went, and subscribe to Lost Forge Tabletop Gaming. It's much appreciated. And I will see you guys next time. Take care.